Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy.
We got to find ways to score points. I think everybody knows that. And now we've identified the problem. Now we got to identify the cure. I think schematically what we're doing, I think we got to pay attention to. I think execution we got to pay attention to. What are we teaching our guys? And are they getting those things done? So there's a lot of things that we're looking at.
Better keep looking because the Saints are not doing anything on offense. And every single bit of what they're doing is dysfunctional. They don't run it well. They don't throw it well. They don't score. They're not good in the red zone. They don't do anything that would be considered functional at this point. And what's maddening about it is that you look at what they've got offensively, especially when Kamara came back this week, and essentially you've got the makings of a quality offense. Now, I can't sit here and tell you that the Saints have the whole offense healthy. They don't. Derek Carr is not healthy. And I can't tell you how much he's compromised because there's no way for me to know. The folks that go to practice thought he looked like he had plenty of zip on his passes, that he was not compromised in any way, and that he could make every throw that was necessary. I don't know based on what we saw last week. They did throw the ball down the field a little bit, but it was unsuccessful, and the vast majority of what they were doing was dink and dunk city. And Breeze made that work to an extent. He was efficient. He was accurate. They got the 4 and 5 yards when they needed him. He was good on third down. Like, they could do it when Breeze had lost his fastball. But they're not figuring anything out with Derek Carr at this point. So questions have to be asked, and they were asked of Dennis Allen yesterday, and they asked, are y'all too conservative at this point?
I don't think that's the challenge. We talked early on in the offseason about, cutting it loose and playing to win. So I don't think there's a conservative element to that at all. Hadn't been one time where I've said, hey, let's run the ball here, take it easy, and other than trying to get the ball off the goal line, I just wanted to get the ball off the goal line.
And obviously he's talking there about handing the ball to the fullback, which turned out to be a disaster. But I don't know that I think that they're too conservative in what they're trying to do. In fact, there have been instances this year where that was the opposite. In the first game, you've got a situation, you've got a third down, and you're playing Tennessee, and you don't run it and rely on your defense. You take a shot down the field, and you hit Shaheed, and you get it done. That's not conservative at all. That's aggressive. That's going to try to win, and we made a big deal about that because we thought they were conservative last year in a lot of those situations under Dennis Allen his first year as the head coach. However, I do think they may be too conservative in what they're doing in the pass game as far as the depth of targets. They're just throwing too many balls around the line of scrimmage. Half of Derek Carr's completions on Sunday were around or behind the line of scrimmage. Alvin Kamara cannot have 13 catches for less than 35 yards. Like, that's too many times you're just dumping the ball off and expecting something good to happen after that. I'm all for getting your best playmakers the ball. I'm not for just dumping it off in the flats 15 times when it never works. At no point did you get guys out there and create a 20-yard play out of a dump-off. It never happened. So that's not aggressive enough down the field. And I realize a lot of things have to happen for you to hit a ball down the field. You got to block, which they've had issues with. Carr's got to make the read, which has been hit and miss. He's got to make the throw. Somebody's got to get open and get separation. You got to make the catch. A lot of things do have to happen for you to get down the field, and it's a low percentage play, certainly lower percentage than running the football or getting the ball in the flat. But there's no reason that an offense that features Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, should struggle to get the ball down the field. Those guys are explosive playmakers. You want to get the ball to Alvin Kamara in the flat 6 or 7, 8 times? Good. You want to get the ball to Michael Thomas around the line of scrimmage on third and shorts and get 5 yards here and there? Those guys are good at that. I'm all for it. But you've got to hit some plays down the field, man. And I just don't think they're doing enough of that. The question is, are they taking advantage of Derek Carr's strengths?
I don't think necessarily. Look, I think anytime you have a new quarterback and he's in a new scheme, I think there's a growing process that goes along with that. It's not happening as fast as I would like for it to right now, and that speed has to be accelerated.
That was the one thing that you could point to in this offense, outside of maybe the offensive line, and said, okay, this could improve over time. Derek Carr's comfort with Pete Carmichael, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, Jimmy Graham, Foster Moreau, even though he played with Foster, Kamara, they haven't spent time together, so maybe it takes a minute to gel. And we still have that possibility. It just looks decreasingly likely based on the way they've played. I mean, they're just brutal to watch. There's just no rhythm. The play call, I mean, I keep going back. I'm doing a segment here, and the only thing that's running through my mind is that goofy reverse handoff to Derek Carr back to, what is that play call? There's just nothing they do that looks in sync or organized or functional, and it did the one preseason drive that we saw. Oh, wow. And then you get out there, guys can't block. Now Derek Carr gets hurt, and then he comes back, and they do block a little bit better, but they might be too conservative. There's so many issues you could point to and say that needs to be a lot better, and that's a tough place to be. And inevitably, when you understand Derek Carr's track record in the league, Alvin Kamara's track record in the league, Michael Thomas's track record in the league, what Chris Olave has shown himself to be in a year and a half, what Rashid Shaheed has shown himself to be, if it doesn't work, all eyes kind of shift to one direction. And Dennis Allen admitted that Pete's that guy.
I think he knows that. I think we all understand that, and obviously the play caller is always the first one that has the target on their back, and yet he knows that's his responsibility, and so he's fully aware of it, and he's working hard to get it fixed.
I'm okay saying, look, Trevor Penning's having a nightmarish time blocking. I can see that. I'm okay if the quarterback gets hurt and you've got a backup in there saying, this is just a little bit of a tough situation. And I can speak to those things with a lot of confidence. It's hard for me to just hammer a play caller for the entirety of a game. I can certainly look at that goofy reverse thing they did and say, nice try, but that was stupid. But I don't know the intricacies and nuances that go from Tuesday to Sunday of getting ready to play a game and putting together a game plan and understanding the flow of the game and what needs to happen here and what needs to happen there, what a great play caller is saying and doing in the helmet and headset throughout the course of a game. And I don't know what Pete Carmichael looks like or sounds like in those moments. I know what the scoreboard says, and inevitably it comes down to that. So I'm not going to specifically critique much of play calls or lack of execution or what was trying to be accomplished here or what was accomplished there. No, I'll just tell you need to score more points. And if they don't, there becomes a time here, and it's not far from now. This is not like a Christmas situation. This is like a next 14 days situation. If they don't look any better on offense in these next two games, you can bet your bottom dollar that Dennis Allen will understand that things are in a really bad spot in terms of his future with the New Orleans Saints. And I think he will make a change at play caller because they weren't good last year with Pete calling the plays. Even the quarterback situation wasn't good, and they're awful right now. And he doesn't have more time to wait. Brian Kelly said in his press conference, do I look at a guy like has time? I don't have time. He actually does have time. Dennis Allen might have no time. We talked about it last year. It's an organization that likes stability. That's why they put this in place. They haven't been an organization that's fired a lot of people or changed a lot of deck chairs and changed a lot of responsibilities. They've been comfortable with who they've been and put those people in decision-making roles. That's going to change if you look up and the Saints are 2-4 and have lost 4 in a row, or they're 3-3 and can't crack 17 points. Because if this doesn't go well between now and the middle of January, the Saints will be in the market for a new head coach. And he knows that. This is not a league that coaches hang around very long. Tomlin and Harbaugh and Carroll and Belichick, those are the outliers. Peyton was an outlier. This thing cycles over quick. And they allowed Dennis Allen the opportunity to hire his offensive coordinator. He chose Pete Carmichael, and he's stuck with him in year 2. If it doesn't work, there are going to be changes made. And the first one's going to be offensive coordinator, and the second one's going to be the head coach. So I say all that, and I can very easily tie a bow around it at the end. They can get better. Carr can get healthier. Everybody can get on the same page. They can start to function as an offense better because it's not a massive talent problem. But they better. Because if they don't, we all know where it's headed. I'm going to give them the opportunity to do so. You're playing against a team this week who's been atrocious on offense, who you should be able to hold to a reasonable point total, and they're really banged up on defense, and their best player just hurt his elbow and is not going to be active. So you should be able to go up there and be competitive and find a way to win this game. It's a week-to-week league. Things felt really good 2 weeks ago. They don't feel good now. And I'm just curious to see if there are any noticeable changes that we can see in this Saints offense. We'll get an opportunity to check them out noon on Sunday. Saints at the Patriots. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.